So this is the last and final part 3 of the controversial marriage advice for men in 2025, stuff that your parents would never tell you. Part 1, 2, and 3. The links are put down below in the description, as well as I've pinned the comment. So you can check it out, and feel free to refer this. You don't have to agree with me. If if you have your inputs, put them in the comment section. So let's move on to the last, I think, how many? 7 or 8 points. Okay. So, marriage advice number 20. See, being a man, when you marry a woman, you are supposed to be the person that she looks up to. Okay. She should admire you, she should respect you. So, what happens is, if she ends up being more successful than you, she has a better career than you, she earns more than you, it's not that she'll not respect you, but she definitely would not look up to you. Because if she's earning a higher salary, if she has a bigger paycheck, if she has a better corporate job, I mean, then she becomes the man of the house. Then, yeah, I know people assume that, oh, wife and husband, they're equal. It doesn't work like this in the real world, especially, and I'll tell you this, you'll notice this especially when you have an argument, or when things don't go very well. She may say something that can hurt your male ego, and it's it's a very simple thing. Like, you can't be the man of the house if she's earning more than you. So the the basic advice I give people is, if the female is more successful than you, if she's more richer than you, if she's more famous than you, then you'll always be put in the back seat. So if it's something like Celine Dion and her manager, if you can take on that role, fine. If you can be comfortable with she being the center of the spotlight and you just taking back seat, she's in the driver's seat, okay. Otherwise, if you want to be an alpha male, I don't think you'd be very comfortable knowing that she earns more than you. All right, unless of course she is such an incredible human being where she's so humble that even if she earns more, she still loves you, which is a very rare thing. I can tell you this much: when you both have an argument and fight, that is where you'll really come to know if she really loves you or she'll rub it in on your face. Okay. And remember, end of the day, even if she loves you, you both are human beings. You both are not perfect. Next one is, I generally discourage men from getting married to a woman who is very career focused. Because if a female is career focused, her choices, her decisions, her priorities are everything related to the career. So, if she had to choose between her happiness and your happiness, most probably she'll choose hers. And if in case the female decides, okay, I'll sacrifice my happiness for you, you can be rest assured she is forever going to let you know that she made that sacrifice. And sometimes it can be very irritating. Generally, what I've noticed is, when couples, they tend to get married, both nowadays at least, both the man and woman have career goals. Both want to earn more, both are competitive, both want to succeed in their corporate life. So it becomes unfair when one asks the other to step down or not pursue their dreams. It becomes very hard, and especially when you're married to each other for years and years, uh, it's sometimes impossible, because just as you value what you love, she also would value what she loves. And then when you're talking of money that comes in, that itself is like a drug that gives you a high, to know that I earn more money, I have the better purchasing power. So yeah, so if you marry someone who's career focused, her priority will not be you, it'll not be the family, it'll be her career. So it'll cause complications. Number 22, I used to think that females, even if they have, let's say, a divorced female or a female who has children out of wedlock, Nowadays there's a lot of live-in relationships or boyfriend girlfriend, and the girl got pregnant and accidentally, but she has decided to keep the child. If a female has a child, I can challenge you on this, that the female will always love her child more than you, because she had the child in her womb, she carried it for 9 months. When the baby was born, it drinks her milk, so that closeness will always remain. There is no man in this world who can take the place of a mother and her child. So if you are getting married to a female who has a kid, you can be rest assured her priority, her focus, her everything will be centered around this child, and whatever decisions she takes, it'll be the child first, maybe she or her second, and then you. Keep that in mind. And one other thing I'll tell you, yes, there are feel good stories online where, let's say, a man has married a woman with 2, 3 other children or one child, and that child accepts you as the father. But like I said, when things don't go well, if the child has a temper, if the child is, just entering their teenage years and is a rebel, all the changes in the hormones, and the child just turns around and starts shouting and screaming at you or does not listen to you, your own child you can discipline because it's your flesh and blood. You can even raise your hand and give it on the buttocks, and I don't advise physical discipline. It's kind of outdated, although sometimes it might be necessary if the child crosses the line. But then if the child is not yours, and if you were to raise your hand or raise your voice, the child can just turn around and say, you're not my father, you're just a outsider. And so even if you are making all the sacrifices, the child will never accept you until that level of maturity sets in. So it can be very frustrating, and it can be very complex. So be careful if the female has another child. Remember, in the beginning it'll be very romantic, but once you and her settle down, then you have these day-to-day problems. Even disciplining the child, asking, okay, did you study, did you do your homework? If you're not the father, the child will never want to take instructions from you. The child will always feel the sense of closeness to its own father, even if the father is not so perfect. Yeah, that's point number 22. So yeah, if you have a choice, better not go for a female with a child. I'm not saying that they are bad people, but remember, the priority is not you. The female's priority is that child. Point number 23, a female that has many friends. This is the most irritating thing I find, is if a female has too many of her friends, she'll always get influenced by her friends. She'll always share, stuff that happens in the house because she needs someone to talk to. And then the news goes, and then the friends, put stuff in her head and tell her, don't take shade, be like this, be like that. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And, it feels so odd when you meet them and they give you the look like, and you see their face and you're like, she must have told them something. That is why they're acting funny. So it feels really odd, especially when you have a female who has many friends. And suppose you and her have a fight and she ends up, taking the phone and talking to her 24/7. That irritates even more. Or if there are some females, when they have a fight or argument with a husband, they might go and stay with their friends at their place, or they might go out, ladies' night out and all that. So I don't know, if you have that kind of mindset where you don't mind it, fine. But for me, the typical, Indian male, you could say, I'm not very comfortable having a female having friends. Thankfully, my wife doesn't have any friends. She doesn't like any friends. She just loves family. She loves her mom. She loves her sister. She loves the baby. She's very homely. So very happy over there. Remember, in today's day and age, social media, chatting, talking on WhatsApp, on video calls, they can get brainwashed very easily. 24 is even worse. That is, if your wifey or your female, counterpart has male friends, that is a major no-no. That is a major red flag. Even if she says he's like my brother, he's like my true friend, um, am I trying to imply that a man and woman can never be friends? No, I have female friends who I would never, even though I was a playboy, even though I liked sleeping around, having sex and all that. There are some females you cannot look at them in a sexual manner. You'll just look at them as family. You look at them as, a sister. Your mind will just never go there. So I've had female friends who are very much like a sister or very much like a real friend. Like I treat them as if I would talk to a male friend. But then, do you want your wifey to have male friends who she can confide in? And that is where it causes complications, especially if you have a fight or argument and she decides to go out on a drive with him and spend time with him, or, a lot of things can happen. And, you'll always have the doubt back of your head. She's spending time with him, like what's going on? Even if she has an office colleague and they sit in the office late nights, it's anything can happen. Accidentally they'll just give each other a smooch, or they will just talk romantic, and maybe accidentally they will just do something, a slip of self-control. So do you want that risk to be present? In fact, through my own personal experience, male friends who I thought I could really truly trust, they ended up going out with the female whom I had kind of interest with, and they ended up sleeping with that female. Or a female that I went out with, I broke off with her. Next thing I know is this other chap whom we are hanging out in a group, he took her to bed. So I found that very sick. So that is why I'm not very comfortable if a female has male friends. For me, it's a major no-no. I don't know about you guys. Point number 25 is a female who is very comfortable showing her skin, bum, boobs, butt, body, whatever, BBBB. I know some people say, oh, you're so backward. Oh, what do you want her to put a abaya? Or understand this much. If a female is okay showing her body to the world, to total random strangers, okay, means she is comfortable with men looking at her. She is comfortable interacting with them. She is comfortable with them staring, like not like, oh, this way, but she's advertising her assets. She's advertising. It's like, for example, you go to the gym, you're pumped, you want to show everyone, look at my body, look at my physique. So if the female is also doing that, who is she doing it for? Understand this much. She's not doing it for females to look and say, wow, it's obviously for the members of the opposite sex. Like, why do females put lipstick? Why do they, put makeup? To look attractive, right? So if a female is constantly showing parts of her body, whether it's going outside, whether it is, especially on social media, major red flag. Because the possibility and probability that she can have another interest, because there will be men who will be tempted by it and they might reach out. But okay, let me surprise you by telling you this. My wife, who is so reserved, my wife doesn't show her skin at all, like doesn't even show off shoulders. Yet, because I know this because I have a Facebook, details and all that. And it's not that I'm spying on her. Sometimes she gives me videos and photographs to upload that she clicks like a large amount. So instead of doing it on her phone, which takes time, she tells me, just can you upload on various albums? So when I log in, she never answers any messages which she doesn't know the individual. So, out of curiosity, I check, okay, who's this? Who are these people who she doesn't know but are sending messages? And there are so many Indians, so many Pakistanis, even people who are my subscribers, okay? They're busy trying to flirt with her. Seriously, flirt with my wife. So, just imagine, without my wife showing anything, this is the case. Then if you are to show, how many times over do you think these men, they will chase? And eventually, we are talking of human beings. Temptation gets to you. And I'm speaking from my own experience where I have dated girls, I have had sex, even with females who are going out with their boyfriends, some who are even married, some who are divorced. So I know for a fact, if a female, wants to have fun, she can have fun and nobody will know about it. So someone who shows their skin, absolute no no. She should she should epitomize someone who is a mother, someone who is an example that how you want your daughter to be. So if she's flashing all her body parts, then guess what the children will become. Number 26 is a no-brainer, at least for me. A female who smokes and drinks, I'm sorry, just can't accept that. Smoking, though, is very bad for your health. And if a female smokes, um, she is showing you very masculine male traits, because this is normally generally done by men. So if a female does it, she's showing a very masculine trait. That's why you'll see, they say the boys are smoking. But if you get a girl and she's hanging with the boys and smoking, it's a very masculine trait. So that for me is a no-no, and I definitely would never want to kiss someone who smokes, because their mouth smells like you're kissing an ashtray. But alcohol, if you are a bachelor and you want to have fun, getting a female drunk, then she goes all wild on you. That is, if that is your fantasy, it's always fun when you're single. But if you're talking of marriage material and you end up with someone who drinks alcohol, it can be anything, even beer or okay, wine just for taste, fine, but I don't do that. But once alcohol enters your system, you become a totally different person. Inhibitions go down, you lose self-control, and it's a sure ticket for inviting problems and complications in your marriage. And remember, once females drink alcohol, means they have a threshold that they can take in getting intoxicated, and they can do a lot of things. And I've seen what happens when females get drunk. I'm not saying all females are, promiscuous by drinking, but the chances are very high that once a female drinks, it can bring a lot of complications in your relationship. And last, if not the least, this one will be very controversial. I'm sure you'll have different opinions. But a female who has traveled the world can prove to be problematic. Why? Someone who has traveled the world has seen or is exposed to many options versus somebody who has not traveled. So when a person travels, it expands their horizons. It makes them realize a lot of things. They become a better version of themselves. But when you're talking of a relationship where the guy and girl, so let's say, for example, a guy, he travels, he gets to see so many options, so obviously he wants the best for himself. And a female, if she travels, she would also want the same. I want the best career, I want the best country, I want the best relationship, I want the best package, I want the best outfits, cars, whatever, the best money can buy, because they want different experiences also. They're very curious, they want to try new things. So when they have this kind of logic and this kind of template, which moves into experiencing new things, that same template comes into a relationship where if they feel the relationship is getting stale or boring or monotonous, or it's not keeping them happy as much as they thought they wanted, someone who travels around the world will 100% break up. 100%. If you compare that to someone who has never traveled or hardly ever traveled, they look at home as their whole world. For them, they want that little world of theirs, because they don't see the possibility of having other options. A simple example I'll give you. Someone who stays in India and they've only lived in India, they don't have any other option to go anywhere else. Their whole world is their family, and wherever the family goes together. Let's compare someone in the West who can get visa on arrival anywhere in the world. Say someone who stays in Canada, she can go to Thailand, she can go to Russia, she can go to maybe United States. I don't know what is the situation now. She can go anywhere in the world, stay there for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Doesn't have to worry about visa. But an Indian, you need to have this much money in the bank account, and you need to give so many documents. So it becomes much more harder. So for someone who can travel anywhere in the world is their oyster, unlimited options. Why do you think they should stick with you and work things out and take your shit? So these are the overall, you know, 30 points, around 27, 28 or whatever. I completed around 7, 8 of them here. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think? And by the way, do let me know, have you watched part 1, part 2 and part 3? Because I thought instead of putting all the, all of this into one video, which would take almost 2 hours or, more, better to break it down in this way. So yeah, do let me know in the comments, have you watched all 3? And is there anything specifically you agree, disagree, or you have any doubts or questions? Let me know. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and answer. And yeah, if I missed out on anything, do add it. So having said that, hope this opened your eyes, your mind, and give you a perspective. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but this has been my experience. All right. Good, bad, ugly, feel free, comment down below. It's me signing off. You guys take care. Ciao.